Thank you, David. Welcome to our December 13th session. And before we start, we open with a prayer. And again, today we have Pastor David Tennant from the Owensville United Methodist Church. Help us, David.
Well, happy Advent. Let us pray. I would invite you just for a second to think back to when you were a kid. Think back to Christmas when you were a kid, the excitement, the crescendo. Gosh, we just could not wait until Christmas. Father, I would ask that we would seek that as adults, more than the happiness of Christmas, the joy of Christmas. I'm reminded by a couple of Christmas songs. It's the most wonderful time of year, and also that joy came down at Christmas. Father, this time, as stressful as it is, as busy as it is, I would just ask and pray that each one of us would go beyond the happiness and seek the joy of our families, of time together, of really the meaning of Christmas. And I often wonder how many people realize why billions of people across the world in all cultures celebrate at this time of year. Joy came down at Christmas in a baby. So, Father, I pray that this day, in our stress, in our busyness, we would take the time to go beyond the happiness and seek joy, and then pass that on to our families and to others. Amen.
Thank you very much.
You're
Merry
welcome.
Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas as well.
Commissioner Corcoran, you want to lead us in the pledge? Yes. I
pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda is the approval. Oh, okay. Yes, sir. The approval of the regular session minutes of December 4th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Mr. Eigel, you want to do the pleasure?
Yeah, we have a new employee here today, Dottie Meyer, but I'm going to have Sandy Tahad do the introduction.
Good morning.
Morning, Sandy.
Morning.
This will be a little bit different probably than how we've introduced new employees because Dottie is our new Director of Job and Family Services. She brings a wealth of public service with her. She has served in both Clermont County and Hamilton County. And I will actually allow Dottie, if she likes, to say just a couple of words.
That was not on the agenda.
I know. You're used to it. We're thrilled to have you, though.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you, the commissioners, especially Mr. Eigel. I really appreciate the confidence that you have in me, and I will work tirelessly to make sure that I achieve your goals, and I work for the families of Clermont County. So I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dottie, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item C, we're going to do a presentation by Emily this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I am back for the third time over the 24 appropriations. This is the proposed final update on it. So on December 29th, I presented the appropriations as it was, and the board had directed me, and I made some changes to it. What happened, we added the 5% salary actions for non-bargaining, and for the general fund, that was just over $1.5 million. We added in the Board of Elections additional operating costs at $79,000, as well as we funded an additional $100,000 to the Dog and Kennel Fund to get their appropriations up to current expenses and staff. So those were the only changes that were added to the whole appropriation. Now, for the general fund, this is just another overview of the program area one last time. The total operating increase after the changes was just over $1.6 million. We have still 65.3% is due to judicial services and public safety. And then when we add in When we add in public safety, it makes it 72.6% is going of our general fund is going to, the safety of the county, to the courts, sheriff's department. So when we look at our 2024 estimated general fund balance, we're looking at ending the year at just under $42 million. Our estimated operating revenue is 81 million, and our new operating expenses is at 79.69 million. Then we've got the non-operating revenues and expenses, which the expenses changed as well due to just the salary actions. Our estimated year-end fund balance is $43.12 million. Now, 4.27 of that balance is restricted for economic development, and we want to maintain 35% of our current operating expenses. So that amount is $27.9 million. So we do have a little cushion above our current operating expenses. Just want to review one more time the requests that were not included in this appropriation. The Sheriff's Department bargaining salaries, I have that in red because that is not in here, but they are going up for bargaining contracts, several of them over the next 6 months. Those will be added into the appropriations, and they're about $142,000 per 1% of the salary action. We also had the Clerk of Municipal Courts was requesting 4 new positions to become a 7-day operations. He was looking for some additional overtime and salary increases on top of the board's 5%. The auditor is requesting funding for procurement clerk. We have building department permit specialist is requesting some additional funding for a stipend program. Juvenile court detention probation, they were wanting to increase some hours and rates for some part-time and seasonal workers. Back to the dog and kennel, there was a second request that had additional $225,000 to add staffing, 5 additional staffing. If you want any further discussion on that, let me know. We can talk about it, what they're requesting. Prosecutor's looking for another investigator and a civil attorney. Sheriff was wanting some road patrol overtime plus vehicle fuel and maintenance, as well as an adult detention maintenance position. They're looking to fund the school resource officers, 50% from general fund, and then there were some just small various salary action staff allocation changes. So if there's no questions on that, this is the 2024 recommendation summary for the county as a whole. Now, this is all non-general fund funds. So when what happened, we increased our 24 appropriation. We are now at $254 million. Every one of these went up except for the special assessment debt and the COVID-19 recovery due to the salary actions, touching every single one of these funds. Outside of that, there was some $115,000 added to senior services levy due to the levy brought in more this year than what we had appropriated. So we will be paying that balance out to senior services in January. And there was a slight reduction on CPS. They had accidentally double requested an expense, so we did back that out. Now, this is general fund and non-general fund, the entire county draft appropriation. Our revenues have stayed the same from the last presentation once we updated it with the increased valuation, so $276 million. And our 24 appropriation is $336,882,266. Outside of the salary actions, we had the 2 other increases. You can see the projected change in the fund balance. Special revenue shows a large decrease. This is 21 million of that is the ARPA funds. And you have to remember the projected change in fund balance is budget, not cash, because we have to appropriate all the funds next year. For the ARPA funds, for instance, we're going to appropriate all the funds, but they may take another 18 months to get actually expensed. So we're looking at the fund balance for the budget wise. The other large is change in fund balances, enterprise funds. The majority of that is water and sewer construction. And every single fund changed except the debt funds, and then the capital appropriation has stayed the same. And as well with the capital projects, you see only the appropriation in 24 is 13.7 million. We most likely will end up spending more than that because there is carry forward purchase orders such as for the Filliger campus that will be being paid next year. So, but the fund balance is expected to drop 6.5 million for the capital funds. So that is actually all I have for the update. If I have any questions or any changes you'd like me to make, I plan on coming back at the end of session to adopt the appropriation.
Any other changes? Anything?
Any questions about
Do you?
that? Any of the items on, that were not appropriated?
Mr. Bickford?
Point board, I think there's one thing we have to address, the animal shelter. I know they had a request for several staffing members. I don't know that we support all that, but I do believe that there is need for one additional kennel tech and the changing for a part-time receptionist to a full-time receptionist. I think those are our two issues there with the kennel. It's a high turnover job, and I think we just need to stabilize the number of kennel techs so it's not always a constant revolving door.
Where does that increase it then? Yeah.
It's it's approximately the cost of a kennel tech plus going from part-time to full-time. I believe it with fringes about 50,000 or
It's
60,000.
about there, depending on what health insurance.
Right.
For both?
For
For
both,
both,
yeah.
because the part-time to full-time would be adding, that person would be eligible then for
Right.
insurance as well.
Okay. Anything else?
No,
That's it.
I'm good with that one. Also, talk about the prosecutor I know the prosecutor's behind the eight ball when it comes to all these cases that they have. I mean, we've been inundated with capital murder cases that is typically really unusual for Clermont County.
Didn't we increase that though?
I thought we did, but
The
didn't
investigator,
he want another,
so he's currently at, I think it's 3 right now. He's requesting a 4th, which was
We had 2 last year.
so the investigator it's its own budget line because he's the only place that has it. Last year, we budget for 75% of the prosecutor's salary to code. And so if he broke that up. Originally, I think he had 1 or 2, and then he went to 3, but he divided up that between the 3. But now he's asking for an additional 1 above and beyond that. And the total investigator is 59,000 plus fringes.
We did cars too, right?
That was in 2023.
23?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
That's the only 2 I had. Was it?
Commissioner Corcoran?
Nothing else.
Okay.
Thank you, Emily.
So just for clarification, are you asking me to add this to the appropriation?
The investigator?
Yeah, I think it should.
The
Go
investigator?
ahead, do a motion to add the investigator and then a motion to add the kennel tech and the full-time receptionist as well. All
Part-time
the
to
pursuit.
You want
full-time.
to do that
Part-time
as an
and
add-on?
full-time.
You can do it now to direct her so that when she presents
Yeah,
it,
just do it
she'll
now.
say that's included.
Include those 2?
Mm-hmm. So I'd move that we change the current appropriation that's just been presented to add the kennel tech that's requested for the animal shelter and the investigator for the prosecutor's office.
And then move the
Yeah. Part-time.
receptionist to
Reception.
The
full-time.
receptionist from
full-time.
part-time to
Part-time,
full-time.
Yep.
full-time.
Just
I'll second that. You can do the motion.
Roll call.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Thank
I
you.
will go add that, and then I'll be back at end of session with just a quick
You'll
update.
be
to
back.
read out. I will be back.
Mhm. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you. Okay, moving on then to item D, public participation. I don't see anyone in the audience. Okay, item D is consent agenda. Board, you've had this in time to review. I would accept a motion to approve with the exception of item 6, And that we would like to table until next week. And we'll have a full presentation of item 6 next week.
Commissioners, what you want to do is just approve the consent agenda without item number 6,
Mhm.
and then come back and a separate motion to table that item to next week.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, what Tom said. Can I have a motion to approve
I'll make the motion.
I'll second item DD.
DD? Oh,
Item D.
I got you.
okay, now then we need a motion to do number 6, item number 6, table that till next week.
Do I want to do roll call first for the
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you should.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Now we can table that.
Thanks for keeping me in line, Gail.
That's okay.
Okay, now, item number 6. Do I have a motion to table that until next week?
So moved.
I will second. Table number 6.
And we'll do a roll call on that one too.
Good job. Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Moving on to item E is the non-consent agenda. Item 11, it is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners, resolution number 178-23, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $3,407,947.12 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated December 13th, 2023, BCC directed prepaid invoice report and/or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on December the 11th, 2023, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for same pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Mr. Bloom, you have the floor.
Item 12 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with right of re-entry for repair and replacement that will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County by the grantors as outlined below for utility purposes. And this is for project number 6401-60218 for the Branch Hill Miamiville Road Water Main Replacement Project. That's from Front Street to Booster 1. Located in Miami Township, and to authorize the county auditor to remit payment as compensation for the permanent easement and the right-of-way granted. And this will make 2 of the 4 easements that we need for the project.
Okay, thank you, Lyle. Board, we've had the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Item 13 is a recommendation to execute a contract for professional services between the Board of County Commissioners and American Structure Point Incorporated out of Cincinnati, Ohio, for project number 6401-60240 for design services for the Afton Drive Water Main Loop Project located in Williamsburg Township, as outlined in Exhibit A for the proposal dated October 11th, 2023, for a total amount not to exceed $52,495. With said services to be completed within 80 consecutive calendar days upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Water Resources Department, exclusive of county review time and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order. So this will involve the design of about 1,800 feet of 12-inch water main that will parallel the existing 12-inch water main on Afton Drive for anticipated future development that will require a lot more water.
Okay, thank you, Lyle. Board, we've had the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Number 14.
Item 14 is a recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with American Suncraft Company out of Medway, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the board on March 15th, 2023 for project number 6401-60200 for the Afton and Goshen Elevated Water Storage Tanks Inspection, Evaluation, Rehabilitation, and Coatings Application Project located in Williamsburg and Goshen Township, and represents a decrease in the amount of $57,280 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $1,103,000, as well as a time extension of 7 calendar days for a revised contract completion date of November 2nd, 2023. And this is the final change order on the project.
Board, we've had the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So second.
Any discussion?
Lyle, everybody, the comments that have come back on the painting scheme that's being used for those elevated water tanks is very complimentary.
Yeah, they look,
And they do
look very
great.
nice. Yep,
Good.
agree.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And the commissioners did a good job selecting that.
I was
I
just
think
gonna,
we
I was
did.
just gonna say that, but
Michelle's
thank
on
you.
the back.
I was going to give all the credit to Tom Eigel. Just,
I wasn't.
Me either.
We're going to take that credit, right, Claire?
Mm-hmm.
Not Tom.
I-
15.
Until it fades and then we'll blame
And then we'll
Tom.
blame him.
Yeah, I'm used to that. That's okay.
Item 15 is a recommendation to execute a contract for professional services between the Board of County Commissioners and McGill Smith Punchin Incorporated out of Cincinnati, Ohio, for project numbers 6401-60238 and 6402-60238 for design services for the Water Resources Department Maintenance Building Expansion and Renovation Project located in the Village of Batavia, for the proposal dated October 3rd, 2023, and a total amount not to exceed $167,500, with said services to be completed within 522 consecutive calendar days upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Water Resources Department, exclusive of county review time and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order. So the scope of the work also includes construction administration services once the design is complete. And this will expand the footprint of our current maintenance building that houses our water and sewer maintenance staff. It was originally built in 1993 and was just intended for sewer maintenance staff. We've since relocated water maintenance staff there. And of course, our staff numbers have increased since 1993 as well.
Board, we've had the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. At last.
All right. Item 16 is a recommendation to reject the sole bid received on October 19th, 2023 for project number 6402-60193 for the Middle East Fork Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvements Project located in the Village of Batavia, as the bid exceeded the engineer's estimate of construction by more than 20%, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 153.12 of the Ohio Revised Code. To adopt resolution number 179-23, to amend resolution number 124-23 that was adopted by the board on August 30th, 2023, and to make the improvements and proceed with the plan specification and revised estimate of cost and financing, and further to approve the request to re-advertise for bids for project number 6402-60193 pursuant to the plans and specs, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation on Thursday, December 21st, 2023. Schedule a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on January 25th, 2024 at 1:00 p.m. with bids to be received until 2:00 p.m. local time on Thursday, February 1st, 2024 here in the Office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, where they will be publicly open and read aloud shortly thereafter, and the notice will also be posted on the county's website. So this is for the Middle East Fork wastewater treatment plant renovation project. As mentioned, we had previously bid that. The bids came in, the sole bid that we received came in much higher than our estimate. We've revised the estimate to increase that. The new engineer's estimate is $10,504,147. We do, excuse me. Getting all choked up. We do have ARPA funding allotted for this project. And in addition to our capital improvement funds, we've increased the estimate about $3.5 million. We've submitted a grant application to the Ohio Department of Development. They have a new water and wastewater infrastructure grant to just opened up that grant opportunity. So we've also submitted that project to help close that funding gap and that would avoid us needing to use additional capital improvement funds.
Thank you, Lyle.
Mhm.
Board, we've had the reading of item number 16. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran, Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Lyle, it was good to hear you talk about the fact that the bid exceeded the estimate by 20%.
More than 20%. I
Right,
think it
when-
exceeded it by 70%.
Yeah, that is a change that was advocated for quite some time here in Ohio, so that, we didn't have that lower requirement to have to go back out for bids constantly.
Right,
So
right. Yep.
great.
Thank you.
Wade, before you do yours, Dottie, we always take a picture with new employees.
Actually came to fruition.
New position, but I know Mr. Bamer's back there with that camera and he's waiting to do it. So let's go down and
Speech and a picture.
he's always anxious.
Everybody go 3. Everybody say 3. You got a new camera? Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna bother. Oh, no, Wade.
Oh, no.
Pretend like that didn't happen. Here.
Oh, my
Ready?
Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, my.
Wow. That might be that I was the one that required that many photos.
That just means you're special.
Is that awesome? Wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Wade.
Good morning and thank you.
Agenda item number 17 is a recommendation to execute change order number 7 to the contract between the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners and Michael Schuster Associates, Inc., also known as MSA Design from Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of architectural and engineering services relative to the Clermont County Juvenile Court Facility Expansion and Renovation Project, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 8/2/2017 and subsequently amended on 5/9/2018, 12/18/2019, 12/29/2021, 8/31/2022, 2/22/23, and 3/13/23, which represents an extension of time by 182 days with a new date of completion of June 30th, 2024, at the cost of $37,500 and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order, depending on your approval or denial. We went ahead and put it as June the 30th because even though the project currently is scheduled for a completion of April, there will be some closeout documentations that are required by the architects, so we put that extra days in there.
Thank you, Wade. Board, we've had the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you. Brian Shrive, are you hiding back there?
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Morning.
Commissioners, this morning I'm here on 2 matters related to hiring of outside counsel. The first matter is the recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board, to execute joint applications with the prosecuting attorney to the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas for employment of legal counsel with following law firms as special counsel to represent the Board of County Commissioners in its official capacity and to advise it on legal matters as outlined therein pursuant to and in compliance with Section 305.14 of the Ohio Revised Code, with compensation therefore not to exceed the total amounts as outlined below for calendar year 2024. Frost, Brown, and Todd, LLC, they're working with the board regarding environmental matters that the Board of County Commissioners may from time to time designate. That total is not to exceed $30,000. Lock Lord, LLP, they work with the board in preparing documentation in support of the underwriting on bonds and financial obligations of the County of Clermont. That total amount is not to exceed $25,000. Kegler, Brown, Hill, and Ritter, they serve as legal counsel for matters relative to the closure of the coal ash storage units used at the Dukes Energy's retired Beckjord Power Station. That is at an hourly rate range of $270 to $560 per hour based on the level of legal services provided. And Edward Dorsey and Wood and Lamping, LLP, they serve as counsel relative to labor and management matters and for labor activities in state and federal proceedings. And that's at an hourly rate of $208 per hour.
Okay. We'll do this one, okay?
Yes.
So board, we've had the reading and the explanation of item number 18. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Number 19.
Thank you again, Commissioners. This is an application related to what's commonly called PFAS, which is a per and polyfluoroalkyl substances that are sometimes called forever chemicals, I believe is the term. I'll go ahead and read this off now. This is the recommendation of Mark J. Tacalvi, Clermont County Prosecuting Attorney, to authorize Bonnie Batchelor, President of the Board, to execute a joint application with the Prosecuting Attorney to the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas for employment of Taft, Stettinius, and Hollister, LLP, and Robert A. Billot, 425 Walnut Street, Suite 1800, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202, to provide legal representation to them in their official capacity as the Board of County Commissioners in the public business involving the presence of per and polyfluoric alkyl substances, PFAS, in Clermont County's water supplies, and in compliance with Section 305.14 of the Ohio Revised Code, with compensation to be paid on a contingency basis.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 19. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
So item 20, so I have Emily. Is she coming back?
You guys
Oh,
had any
you're-
changes, didn't you?
Okay.
I was hoping I didn't have to do this, but I will do item 20.
Okay.
Recommendation to accept the proposal submitted by Arthur J. Gallagher, Risk Management Services Incorporated, entitled Insurance Program Renewal, as it is relates to quotes from carriers of the purchase of property, casualty, liability, excess liability, and employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty insurance of the County of Clermont, Ohio, for the period of 12/31/23 through 12/31/24 at an annual premium of $1,141,714, and to further authorize Bonnie Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, and/or Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute any and all documents as it is and relates thereto.
Thank you. You noticed she came in after you
Yeah.
started reading. She stood out there and waited.
She did.
So board, we've had the reading of item number 20. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bamer.
Hello, Commissioners.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Okay, this is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 18023 to establish Clermont County support for the Ohio Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial and acknowledge the Ohio General Assembly and the Governor of Ohio's creation of America 250 OH to plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the United States and Ohio's integral role in that event, and further establish a local America 250 OH committee for Clermont County to work with the America 250 OH on all activities within Clermont County. And just a quick recap, this is part of the process for Clermont County to participate in the state of Ohio's planning for the 250th birthday of America. And once this is approved, we'll notify the state 250 committee, and we will also name two community liaisons. One is Jeff Bloom from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and a second is Judy Adams from the Bethel Historical Society. And we will also have a planning meeting, and Commissioner Corcoran has expressed an interest to represent the commissioners because she's been involved in the grant statue project. And so that'll be our next steps.
Thank you, Michael. Board, we've had the reading of item number 21. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you, Michael. Emily's back.
First, I have a 23 budget issue. So I have a recommendation to resolve to approve and authorize changes in annual appropriation resolution number 182-22. This is a reduction for sewer construction of $8 million. Part of it has to do with going out to rebid this year, that there are just projects that didn't get complete this year, so they're getting appropriated next year.
Okay. Board, we've had the reading and explanation of item number 22. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Number 23.
First, I'm going to give you one more update. I made those changes, and the total changes to the general fund is $129,592,000. So it was $48,183 for the dog and kennel fund for the part-time to full-time, as well as the kennel tech, and then adding in the investigator with fringes. And that was $81,409. So that takes the total county appropriation for the 2024 to $337,060,040.73. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward with this part. Okay. This is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 181-23, resolving to adopt the annual appropriations for the County of Clermont, Ohio for calendar year 2024 pursuant to and in compliance with section 5705.38 of the Ohio Revised Code, to establish the legal level of control for the 2024 annual appropriations pursuant to and in compliance with Ohio Administrative Code section 171-5-02, and to waive the limitation on payroll expenditures during the first half of the calendar year where personnel costs are charged to multiple funding sources or will be changed during the latter half of the year based on funding schedules and staffing in accordance with Ohio Revised Code section 5705.46.
Thank you, Emily. Board, we've had the reading of item number 23. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And Gail, I'll have the exhibit to you. I just have to reprint it with these changes
Thank
on
you
it.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item F, additions to the agenda.
We don't have any additions at this time.
Okay. Moving on to item G. It is, we need a motion to go into executive session pursuant to section 121.22, G1 and G6 of the Ohio Revised Code to 1, consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or more public employees, and 2, to discuss details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for a public body or public office. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, we will return. Thank you. Thank you. We have returned from executive session. No decisions or actions were taken. Let me read one more time why we went in. It was pursuant to Section 121.22, G1 and G6 of the Ohio Revised Code to 1, consider the employment or compensation of a public employee or more public employees, and 2, to discuss details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for a public body or public office. Okay, moving on. At this time, Mr. Eigel, do we have any?
We do. We have some staff discussion. So we have a 15336 committee report, and that is for our juvenile court expansion.
Okay.
So Ms. Grabowski will go through each item, and then as members of the committee, you'll take a vote.
And thank you once again, Board. There are 3 or 4 different change orders on this. Change order number 17. Those are the highlights of each individual one. Pages 3 and 4 are the voting sheets. I will go over each one respectively, and then I'll allow you time to vote, and then we'll collect everything at the end, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. So these CORs included in this change order 17 is 81R1, 84, 85R1, and 86R1. COR 81R1 is what's considered the exhaust ductwork insulation. Original design failed to place insulation in the ductwork above the drop ceiling in one of the air handlers. The owner initiated a request due to the evidence of condensation. It was determined that insulation was required to prevent this from happening. This is an increase of $2,336.92, and the architect has verified the cost. All supporting documentation is included in the packet. And if you will, you have the opportunity to approve or deny it on the 3rd page. Under change order 81R1.
And this was the contractors,
No, this was the engineer.
the engineers?
Yes, not the contractor.
All right, okay.
This was the engineer that failed to put the insulation above the plenum ceiling.
Okay.
So it just wasn't specified.
Wasn't
Okay.
there. But we didn't find out about it until the condensation.
Okay.
If you've ever had something like that in your home, the condensation builds up, all of a sudden you get a wet ceiling, you investigate it, and oh, there's no insulation there.
Mr. Painter,
Yes.
Ms. Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Very good. The second one is change order number 84. These are the boundary mics at the judges' benches. Original design included gooseneck microphones, which is something similar to what I have right here. In the trial courtroom, which were not desired by juvenile court, the gooseneck microphones have been acquired at a cost of $1,345, meaning we've already paid for the goosenecks in the trial courtroom. Judge Shriver initiated the request to have boundary mics replace the gooseneck microphones. In most of our courtrooms, just about every one, the boundary mics are just little size of a quarter, and they go in and recess into the bench. The only positive here, if you would think anything positive, is we have these type of gooseneck microphones in most of our defense and prosecutors tables, so we'll now have 2 extra if anyone goes down. Cost increase of $2,669.96. Architect has verified all costs, and all supporting documentation is included in this packet.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Very good, and thank you. The third one is change order 85R1, high-density shelving. This is the largest portion of this 4-member change order. The original design relocated the existing shelving, which is in the existing building, into the new building. Judge Shriver initiated the request for a new high-density filing system due to concerns of non-ADA compliance and capacity of the shelving. The architect, which is MSA, have redesigned the placement of this existing shelving so that the ADA compliance at the entry door will be achieved. It's just that the 29% capacity will not. This is an increase of $90,503.30. If a new system is to be purchased, should the existing system be relocated, there are no additional costs associated to the project, and the architect has verified the costs, and all supporting documentation is included in the package. The existing shelving, should new shelving be purchased, will remain in part only of the existing building's current storage, because if you remember correctly, we have to take away the majority of the existing storage where the shelving is, because that'll be a corridor now, where access is granted to domestic court and domestic clerk.
And what is that shelving for?
Shelving is for all their case files, all the cases that they have to retain. One of the things that's amazing to me is I follow the retention schedules. I had to sign one this morning, but like the juvenile system is like a 50-year. They have to keep them forever, it seems like. And I think you probably realize that from your past, but I was amazed that they have to keep them that long.
This really is for increasing the density so that you can actually hold more records in a smaller space. Is that?
The capacity has lessened, but the actual storage, the main thing for us was that the ADA component of this was satisfied by the architectural firm. Yes, there's still an issue with the amount of shelving, but the ADA portion is now satisfied. That was our main thing.
Yeah.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Thank you again. And the final one would be 86R1. This is a TV in courtroom 1030. Original design did not include a TV in courtroom 1030 and instead included a drop-down screen. Judge Shriver did initiate this request. The previous approved change order related to the audiovisual included the addition of the television related wiring and program, and the architectural drawings noted the change on only one of the drawings, and the contractor missed the change when calculating the price. However, the architect did not put the change in other related drawings that are typically associated with this type of work. Bottom line here is they forgot. This is an increase of $9,677.84 to the project. Architect has verified the cost, and all supporting documentation is included in this packet. This was another architectural mess up, if you will.
Are we going to do something about that?
County administration and myself, after these change orders go through, and I've said it before, we go ahead and we have discussions now with the architectural firm to see what amounts we can recover, if any. We don't just forget about it.
I know you don't. Thank you.
I'd like to forget about it, but
I think we all would at this point.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
and that concludes the four. I have the four other members of the committee's also paperwork, which I have turned over 4 already. And then if you don't mind, I will collect these 3 and we'll place those as part of the package as well.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you for your work. Thank you for looking into it.
Mr. Igo gives me the direction. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Commissioners will have to do an add-on now for the actual change order to the contract with Mark Spalding.
Okay, can I have a motion to do the add-on for this?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Painter, Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
And if I may, the add-on is as follows. This is a recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 17 to the contract with Mark Spalding Construction Company out of Florence, Kentucky, for construction of the Juvenile Court Expansion Renovation Project, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 1/26/2022 and subsequently amended on 3/9/2022, 6/29/22, 8/10/22, 11/22, 12/14/22, 1/25/23, 2/8/23, 3/13/23, 4/5/23, 4/24/23, 5/3/23, 6/7/23, 7/12/23, 8/23/23, and 8/30/23. That is a record for the number of amendments that have been done on a project. I'll be in, I'll go down in history as for a net increase in the amount of $105,188.02, which represents exhaust ductwork insulation, boundary mics at judges' benches, high-density storage shelving, and a TV in courtroom 1030. That's not 103, it's 1030, for a total adjusted contract price in the amount of $9,209,503.13, as more fully described therein, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth within the contract for Juvenile Court Expansion Renovation Project.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, Gail?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
And
Thank you, Wade.
I apologize for, we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony in that building. We will.
We will.
We will.
How's it look inside?
Carpet's being installed as we speak.
Okay.
So.
Get the humidity taken care of, and-
Not yet.
but we will be.
I don't know if it's appropriate to discuss that portion of it.
Well, the board wants an update, so yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay.
We are having an issue with the HVAC. We can't maintain control, but the balancing isn't done yet. So there's a series of things that I have requested. I have also requested that our engineering group, which is the Akers Corporation, be on standby to represent the county as a whole. I was in there yesterday. I was in there again this morning. Temperatures seem to be better, but they're slowly balancing everything. We thought we had a supply issue as far as the amount of air that was going into the building. We ran things at 100% capacity just to see if we could overheat it. We couldn't, so we're hoping that the balancing helps. They have been made well aware of my concerns over the heat issue in that building. I don't want it to affect things like what we worked so hard on. Remember, the casework for the benches wasn't supposed to be here until March. We managed to get it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I have a tendency to.
It's okay. Just so it can pick you up. That's okay.
We worked hard with the manufacturers. We actually can receive the first delivery next week. So they're 90 days ahead of schedule. But if we can't maintain the heat in the building, there's no warranty on those benches. The carpet's not going to seat. The paint can't be finished. So this is very important. In reality, this mild weather, although it's beautiful, it's no good for me right now. I need that extreme temperature drops to be able to maintain that heat. We have a major meeting coming up this Friday. I hope to have many, many answers before then, but it's a concern of mine right now.
Okay.
And I'll keep you updated, of course.
For update.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
Nothing further? Okay, at this time, we'll move on to item H, county staff elected official discussion. Nothing? Item I, member comments.
Member comments. We just got back from CCAO. Had a great winter conference this year. Lots of information and things to go over with you all. Also, just to touch on the completion of the Bethel-Batavia natural gas pipeline. That has been completed now.
But
And so-
congratulations are in order to you for, is it first vice president?
First Vice President, County Commissioners Association of Ohio.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you. The Bethel-Batavia pipeline has come to completion. I understand it's in service. And that is a big, I mean, that's a big deal for economic development here in
Sure
Clermont
is.
County. I mean, there was never natural gas in that eastern side of the county. So, hats off to Duke. I mean, they seem to have done a really nice job. I know they're still doing some restoration efforts at some people's house, but it was 16 miles worth of pipeline. And so I know there were residents that had to put up with disruptions. I know there were some residents that had to work with Duke closely because some of the disruptions and some of the interference that was caused on their property, they weren't happy with. What I would say is thanks. Thanks for allowing them to do the work. And, we hope it came out in the long run great for you. But I think that's going to be a great thing for the future of our county.
It's going to open up the eastern portion a whole lot more.
You bet. And it's from someone who grew up in Bethel.
That's
You
right.
know that probably back then your only options were what? Fuel oil and
And the big tanks in your backyard for
Propane.
Yep.
propane.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay. Commissioner Corcoran, anything?
Well, thank you.
Okay. Then I would accept the motion for adjournment.
so move.
Second.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you.